spotlight, you guys. It's great because they emerge from the darkness. Ta-da! Everyone should do kind of a grand entrance, a plie or something. That's probably not that grand. What is a plie? That's a plie. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Maybe a pirouette would be nice as well. Do it. Three-dimensional question. Thank you. As a carpenter, what am I most proud of having made, or the most interesting thing that I made?
Your favorite thing, the thing you're most proud of.
I don't know. A couple of things. I made a really nice bench from. Well, that was nice. I made. All right, fine. I'll tell this story. When I went to college, my first freshman year in college, I over the summer had started making a gift for my girlfriend, which in hindsight probably seems like a slightly weird gift for a kid to be making. A sawmill and milled it up into lumber and then let it dry for a year and then I made a bed out of it. But I wasn't finished with the bed when I went to college, so I drove out to Chicago and brought this queen-size bed with headboard, footboard, runners, the whole thing, to my dorm room where I proceeded to sand with power sanders this really hard maple. It's one of the hardest woods you can. It's one of the hardest North American woods you can work with. And her finger, headboard, her finger, door jam, broke the ring. She wasn't injured, but the ring broke with the bed that I made her, which I was going to run around. So it was very poignant. I probably shouldn't have told that story.
Too late.
I don't know why I'm feeling sentimental. Have I ever told our engagement story?
No.
Is that like a no? Okay, this is actually kind of like breaking a rule. I think we're not supposed to talk about personal stuff up here, but so we've been together. We've been together for 10 years, and we were going through kind of a. Do you mind? Been going through this kind of rough patch, and it was a little bit about like, are we going to do this forever? What's going to happen? And she was opposed to the institution of marriage because gay people couldn't get married, and it's kind of a fucked up thing anyway. And I wasn't, but I wanted to do it. It was somehow important to me, and I really didn't know what she thought about it, and we had this weird thing where we really didn't talk about it. But I felt like it was a crossroads, like either we're going to do this or we're going to not, and we're going to move on. And so I was working on a movie that was shooting on an island off the coast of Maine, and I was there for like 3 months, and I found this little jewelry making shop, and a guy, there's 3 guys that work there, but one of them had just died, so his bench was open. And they let me come in and work at his jewelry making bench, and I spent like a month. I'd never made any jewelry before, so I didn't know what I was doing. It took me a really long time, but it took me about a month to make this ring, and I did. And it was like gold, I carved the wax, and then I cast the gold and set the stone. And I had built, I had made a little wooden ring box a couple years before that I still have with me because I've been thinking about it for a long time. So anyway, she comes out for a 10-year anniversary, and she gets there, and I have this elaborate picnic out on a point, and
Misha.
I don't know what happened to me. I need more sleep. So I got down on bended knee, and I said, we've been together for 10 years. Would marry me? And she said, 10 years? No, we've been together for 9. And I'm like, no, it's 10. And, is that a yes? she took the ring and she put it on, and then I actually had to go shoot that day, and I came back to the inn where we were staying, and she, we crawled into bed together, and she was sort of squirming under the sheets, really excited, and come on, people, it's a sweet story, and she slipped a ring on my finger. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. While I was shooting, she had gone out and she had gotten a ring for me. And it turns out, in fact, she had stayed up after I had gone to sleep the night before. And after I fell asleep, she had sized my finger and called back to the jeweler. This is pathetic. This was 10 years ago, too, so, I've had time to deal with it. She called back to the jewelry making shop in Santa Monica, where she had been making me a ring. And I beat her to the punch by one day, so she was like, but she had made this ring that had, which I've now lost, but she made this ring that had 9 holes, one for each year that we've been together. So when she found out that it was actually 10, she was like, oh no. Okay, now I see why we're not supposed to do those stories. I get it now. I've learned.